I've just arrived in Ryde on a windy day, and my plan is to spend the next 5 days walking along the Isle of Wight coast path. It's about 16 miles a day, but I used to come to the island when I was a child. My grandparents lived here, and so I spent lots of my holidays here. But as well as being a great holiday resort, the Isle of Wight is fascinating from a geology perspective and an environmental perspective. So I hope to show you some of the features of this coastline, the people that live in it, and the geography and the geology. You can get a train from here. If you see the train, you see it looks like an old London tube. That's probably because it was. But as a youngster, I used to come up this pier and to fish from these little huts, catching a bass here. Pretty proud of taking it home. My grandmother to cook it and eat a ring. I didn't actually like it. So this is Ryde. This is walking down past Ryde Golf Club, and at the bottom of the road, which is parallel to this, is Ryde House, and that's where I used to come every summer. And I think it's now, because that's where my grandparents lived, and I think it's now a care home. Well, it's been put to good use. Fantastic. It's just making a little detour because a little right turn on the coast path takes you down to the seashore. I think we need to have a quick look at the Solent now that it's stopped raining for a little while. Here we go. Here we are. Lots of seaweed. Portsmouth over there in the distance. Car ferries coming along as well. So this north part of the Isle of Wight was laid down in the Eocene and Tertiary period, so it's quite shallow, and as we go around the island you're going to see complete changes with Cretaceous rock formations, early and late Cretaceous. But this north part is the youngest part of the island, and it was only about 9,000 years ago that this became an island. There was a river here, but it was attached to the mainland. So yeah, we're gonna see lots of interesting stuff as we go around. I have to say, it's incredibly well signposted so far. Obviously, it stays that way. What a lovely little place. Look at this. Wow. Chocolate box. Biscuit box. Chocolate box. Biscuit box. Biscuit tin. One of those. So just come out of Binstead, following the path. I can see the sea over there. Really rather lovely abbey here, old abbey. Wow, abbey by the sea. Well, it seems as if that last little abbey was the medieval abbey, which is probably why it was quite small. But now this is the same bunch of monks, but this is a whole new ball game. Look at this. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Not going to stay. Still got a long way to go today. Fishbourne. This is the calf ferry terminal to the Isle of Wight. I guess you can also, if you wanted to, you could get that ferry from Ryde. This takes a lot longer. You can start here, but I suppose if you're walking, I'm not sure why you would. Nice little harbour there, with less tree. I feel like I'm going through somebody's garden. 3 hours to East Cowes. Welcome to East Cowes. Right, well, I've arrived at the Medina estuary. I'm hoping the Seine ferry is working. Yes, it is. In which case, I can get across to West Cowes. Fantastic. You wouldn't want to bring your Ferrari over, it's that's going to hurt the bottom of your... So, 'Just wandering through Cowes is really quite nice, especially when it's not too busy. I like to make it with the brain. There's the Cowes lifeboat station, which is great. And here we are. This is the entrance to the Medina estuary, the River Medina, which goes from here, East Cowes over there, West Cowes on this side, and at the end of the river we've got Newport. And out there you can see the latest construction, which is this breakwater that they've produced. The estuary, like many, is subject to flooding, and the aim of this breakwater is to try to prevent that, especially on the highest spring tides, but and also to reduce the wave action, which means that the harbour can be used probably for longer and during more inclement weather. So yeah, I don't think it's really been tested yet. It's only been there for a few years. It's taken some years to build, but it was finished a few years ago. So we'll wait and see whether or not it actually does anything to protect against the tidal surge on those really high spring tides if you then get a wind that brings the waves. It's certainly going to protect against the waves. There were issues. Navigation, it was concerned that it would be a navigation issue, but as far as I'm aware, nothing's hit it yet, even this really rather large red funnel ferry, which is going all the way to Southampton. This is another way of getting here, by the way. You can also come in from Southampton into Cowes, and you can start your coastal walk from Cowes, which is pretty good. Anyway, so we're going to continue now going along the coastal path, which is in this direction. So this is the Island Sailing Club, and obviously what Cowes is really famous for is Cowes Week, which has been running, I think, since about 1826, and it's one of the biggest sort of sporting institutions, I suppose, in the country, and they get about 100,000 spectators. So economically, this is a huge thing for the island, and certainly for Cowes, and for the people who run the bars and everything else. But it's yeah, I've been here. Happens in August. They have a lot of boats, massive firework display. It gets pretty busy here. Yeah, I try and avoid it if I can. This is the western entrance to the Solent, and right over there in the distance you can see Forley Refinery. Not sure if you'll be able to see it from here. So we're the sort of races through this narrow gap into the Solent. So coming up to Egypt Point now. I have to say, although it's called the Coastal Path, it's actually the first time I've walked along the coast. Although it's sort of followed the line of the coast, the path has been about a mile or two from the shoreline. It's not to say it hasn't been nice. Just walking through the woods and around the houses has been pretty good, but this is what it's all about. Me getting onto the coast, smelling the sea. Wonderful. Leaving Cowes. That was a storm. beach hut. Hello, beach hut. I think that's what you call a muddy creek. Can't imagine keeping a boat there. Park closed. Guessing this is a diversion. Landslide. Talk about landslides a little bit later. There's a lot of clays in the Isle of Wight, and galt clays, and the limestones that sit on the top of them, once they get wet, tend to slide off them. So we'll be seeing that, or chalks I should say, tend to slide off them. We'll be seeing that at various stages along this coast path. But you can see erosion here is one of the big things, because the coastal processes erode the toe of the cliffs, and slowly but surely it takes it back, it takes the sediment from the island and probably drops it somewhere further along the coast. This muddy path is actually it's really claggy, quite hard going actually. Gotta watch your step. Oh, I can see some daylight. Oh, wow. Not too shabby. There's another rain cloud coming. I was going to take this jacket off, but could be a folly. If you look at this bay, you can get a really good idea of how the northern part of the island has this low-lying tertiary rock formations that were deposited by rivers and floodplains over millions of years. So it's very shallow here, and you can see it going all the way up essentially to the middle of the island, which is that sort of a spine of chalk that runs east to west, and we'll be looking at that in more detail. But there's a very distinct, two really distinct halves to the island in terms of geology. I think I can see my campsite, which is good timing. A little bit of salt marsh here. Love salt marsh. Well, I've arrived at the campsite. The tent is pitched. Chair's up. I brought a chair. There's a little bit of extra weight, but these are pretty long days, so I thought the chair would be useful. Having sat in it, it is. So tomorrow, up early, another big day. So we'll be heading east along the north coast, west along the north coast towards Yarmouth, and then we'll be sort of turning round the corner a little bit, and starting to close in on the needles and that area, that ridge of chalk that that dissects the island. So anyway, I think I need a bit. See you tomorrow.